action on the minutes from the previous meeting?
I'll make a motion that we approve the minutes from the previous meeting.
I'll second.
We have a motion on the floor by Tom Smith. It's been seconded by Eric Archer to approve the minutes from the previous meeting. Is there any discussion? All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed say no. Motion carries unanimously. Thank you. Item 3 is an opportunity for public input. If anyone would like to address the Plan Commission this evening, now is the time to do so. Please come up to the podium. Begin by stating your name and address and limit your comments to 3 minutes per individual, please. If there is anyone who would like to address the Plan Commission, now is the time to do so. Welcome, sir.
Good evening, esteemed Plan Commissioners. My name is Dan Stevens. I live at 1708 Jennifer Court in Onalaska. I'm also a 2nd District Alder for the City of Onalaska, but tonight I am here to speak in favor of item 9, the exception to approve the mural committee. My interest in that is I am also president of the Onalaska Art Keepers. I'll be available when this item comes up on the agenda if there are any questions that you may have. Thank you.
Thank you, Alder Stevens. Is there anyone else who would like to address the Common Council this evening? Or not the Common Council, sorry, wrong meeting. It's the Plan Commission.
Had me worried I was at the wrong meeting. My name is Jeff Trader. I live at N8680 County Highway TA in Mindoro. I am here with River Architects and here to speak in favor of the item for the Coulee Region Humane Society. If you have any questions, I will be present to try and field those questions for you.
Thank you, sir.
Hi, my name's Eric. I live at 611 10th Avenue North. I'm a sitting member of the school board and so will recuse myself from agenda items 5 and 8 tonight.
Thank you, sir.
I'm Todd Wilson. I am the CEO of Bethany Lutheran Homes Eagle Crest Communities, 351 Mason Street here in Onalaska. And I'm here to support item number 7, vacation and discontinuance of a portion of Overhill Road that was recently purchased from the city of Onalaska. This is a condition required by the county as part of approval of our CSM map. And this is a process that we're following in preparation for a project, what we're planning. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Good evening. I'm Jerry Schomburg with Vantage Architects, Architects for the School District, which are items 5 and 8. And I will be here all evening. If you have any questions, I will be able to answer them. So thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Evening, everyone.
Good evening.
Kurt Van Auken. I'm at 501 Riders Club Road in Onalaska, and I will do my best to keep this under 3 minutes as I respect your time, but I also hope that you guys can appreciate and understand that the decisions made here affect my property for years to come, and I feel this warrants much more than 3 minutes and a very long discussion. This is in reference to item 6 of this agenda to some degree. I don't understand how the government works, nor will I pretend that I ever will. Apparently, I missed my opportunity at the last meeting, albeit that I attended. I did not know that that was the time that I needed to speak in reference to corner fences. My fence that I built last year was deemed out of ordinance. Despite hiring a reputable contractor in the area, it is out of ordinance. And to my understanding, the code as written is difficult to understand from the ordinary population, let alone professional contractors. So when my fence was deemed out of ordinance, I started to ask questions about why.
You're muted, I'm muted.
I'm the father of a young daughter who's sitting back there very quietly because I get very little time with her. I started asking why. Why is my fence out of ordinance when, for all intents and purposes, it doesn't seem to be doing anything that would be against what the city is accomplishing. Now, the city has changed my corner to a roundabout because it was deemed unsafe. It was a stop sign, is now a roundabout because of safety issues, which I understood, and I applaud the work that went into that, and I applaud the work that Katie did reviewing all of the corner fences. However, the question that I asked was, why is my fence out of ordinance? The information that you were provided in the last meeting provided you with the compliance of the matter, nothing to do with safety. There was no review on why is it not safe? What makes it not safe? Is there statistics supporting this? There was no evidence to support why my fence or other corner fences, as written, is not safe. And so the decision, from what I can tell, has all been made to keep the ordinance as it is. And perhaps that's my fault for not understanding again, but I'm asking why. And there has been little answers to why my fence is out of ordinance, other than it's written as it's written. Now, Katie has tolerated tears and frustration vented by myself and my wife because we are begging and pleading to keep our fence because it is that important to us, as you can understand, as parents of, or uncles or aunts of precious little ones back there. So I'm coming to you tonight begging and pleading to continue this discussion. I'm happy to, I'll be here with my daughter to answer any questions from my side, but I don't feel that the due diligence has been done to safely move on from corner fences. And so I'm asking you guys to do whatever you can do to keep that discussion going rather than closing the book on it. Thank you
Sir,
for your time.
could you describe the positioning and height of your fence on your property?
So my fence was built off the front corner of my house and is 6 feet all the way around. The ordinance as written says from the front corner and out along the street side, it has to be dropped to 4 feet. And while I understand sightlines and safety and things of that nature, I ask the evidence to support that. My fence is outside of the vision triangle and arguably does not impede or affect safety at all. In fact, I would argue and submit to you guys, as the person that probably spends the most time on this corner, my fence has significantly made that corner safer. People have actually slowed down and stopped when there was a stop sign. Now that there's a roundabout and people are going to be able to freely flow through that corner, slowing down would be a good thing. Again, it's outside of the vision triangle, and it has enhanced, from my perspective, who lives there, the safety immensely. And so I'm just asking for the statistics to support this decision why I have to now change that. And I'm happy to provide evidence of my own.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Stacy, are there any online guests that would like to speak?
No one has typed any questions in. It seems there is some problems hearing.
Okay. Is there anyone else who would like to address the Plan Commission this evening? Second call for anyone wishing to address the Plan Commission. Third and final call, and then we'll continue on with our agenda here. I don't see or hear anyone. So we'll go to item 4, which is a public hearing. This is a public hearing for a rezoning application to rezone a parcel of land from mixed-use commercial district to community business B2 district. The tax parcel ID number is 18-3654-204. The applicant is the Coulee Region Humane Society and River Architects. Would anyone like to speak in favor of this rezoning application?
Good evening. I'm Jeff Trader, representing River Architects, the firm that is currently looking at doing the expansion at Coulee Region Humane Society. Just wanted to briefly cover that with this request for a zoning change. There's no change in use plan, no change in occupants or their operations. And the reason we're requesting the change is when the building was originally constructed in 2003, it was intended to be built onto and expanded at that time. And since that time, in 2020, the city has gone through and reorganized their zoning, and the zoning that was applied to that did not fit the current configuration of their building and site. And what we're looking to do now is build onto the building with the same character and scale and materials that exist there today, and that is not allowed under the current MUC, but would be allowed under the B2. The uses that are present there, the animal shelter and veterinary services, are allowed in both of those. So we're asking for a simple zoning change to better meet the existing conditions that are there and allow for our expansion.
Thank you, Mr. Trader. Would anyone else wish to speak in favor of this rezoning application? Third and final call for anyone wishing to speak in support of the rezoning of this parcel. Okay, now I'll open it up for anyone wishing to speak against. Is there anyone who would like to speak against the rezoning of this land from mixed-use community to community business district? Second call for those wanting to speak against. Third and final call for anyone wishing to speak against. The public hearing is now closed, and I'll ask our city planner, Katie Aspenson, to introduce this item to our Plan Commission this evening.
Thank you, Mayor. In your packet today is application to rezone the Cooley Region Humane Society from the mixed-use community district to the community business B2 district. Due to the addition and parking lot redesign that the applicant is putting forward, the mixed-use community district design standards have been triggered for this particular project. As stated in the letter, many of these characteristics and standards will not be able to be met by the property owner. As such, they are requesting to rezone from the mixed-use community district to the B2 district, as it's the only way for the project to move forward in its current capacity. City staff have put together 5 conditions of approval for this development. All of the lot and site dimension standards, as well as the uses as described previously to you, are compliant with the B2 district. Thank you.
Thank you. With that said, I will turn this matter over to the Plan Commission. What is your desire?
I'll make a motion to approve the rezoning of tax parcel 18-3654-204 from a mixed-use community to a district community business B2 district in accordance with the 5 conditions that Katie outlined for us.
I second it.
Thank you. We have a motion on the floor by Eric Archer. It's been seconded by Leanne Stokes to approve this rezoning request. Is there any discussion? The motion on the floor is for approval. All those in favor, please say aye.
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 Those opposed say no. Motion carries unanimously. Thank you. Item 5 is a public hearing for the general development plan application to create a planned unit development to facilitate the proposed expansion and renovation project at the Onalaska Middle School with the additional site improvements, and request a deviation from the Unified Development Code to allow another principal use for the property that is not allowed within the public and semi-public P1 public district of a club, lodge, or meeting place of a non-commercial nature and a recreational facility, which would be specifically for the operation of the Boys and Girls Club located at 711 Quincy Street. This is tax parcel ID number 18-681-1, and the applicant is the School District of Onalaska. So I'll ask first if anybody would like to speak in favor of this general development plan application.
Jerry Schomburg with Vantage Architects. And just to explain it, it's a school district in a public semi-private lot. We're going to expand the school district, but with the addition of the Boys and the Girls Club, the agreement was made. They are not really part of that, and so therefore we needed to get the planned unit development request. And we are not asking for any changes to that. We'll accept all the conditions of the planned unit development and proceed with the project, and be happy to answer any questions.
Thank you, Mr. Schomburg.
Thank you.
Would anyone else like to speak in favor of this? Third and final call for anyone wishing to speak in favor of the general development plan application to create the planned unit development over on Quincy Street. Okay, I'll close that portion and now ask if anyone would like to speak against this general development plan. Anyone wishing to speak against? Third and final call for anyone wishing to speak against the general development plan for the project at the middle school. Okay, the public hearing is now closed, and I'll ask our planning manager, Katie Aspenson, to introduce this item to our Plan Commission this evening.
Thank you, Mayor. This PUD request is to allow for one deviation from our UDC to allow a principal use in the P1 district, in particular having a club, lodge, or meeting place of non-commercial nature to house the Boys and Girls Club at the Onalaska Middle School, and create a partnership between the entities to provide increased after-school and summer programming for middle school-aged children. Included in the packet is an overall site map, architectural plans, a cover letter from the applicant, as well as the deviation request. I'll speak to the permitted uses as stated, specifically Table 13.02.22-1 of Section 13.02.22B of the Unified Development Code would allow this particular club, lodge, or meeting place of non-commercial nature to house the operation of the Boys and Girls Club. That is not a permitted use today. It is considered a prohibited use. So if the PUD is approved, only this particular property would be able to house the Boys and Girls Club at its location. City staff are in support of this request to allow it to occur. The Boys and Girls Club is scheduled to operate after traditional school hours, so it would operate as a shared use between the school district and their organization. They will be required to provide all the minimum parking stalls of both uses in order to satisfy the shared use arrangement, and they are proposing to do as such. They are also willing and able to follow and comply with our standards related to density, lot area, setbacks, building height, environmental and cultural design, the minimum open space needed for an elementary or secondary school, as well as architecture, parking needs for all of the principal uses, streets, utilities, and drainage, circulation and access, and all of our landscaping and signage needs. City staff have put together a total of 9 conditions of approval for this development. Thank you.
Thank you, Katie, for that. What is the pleasure of the Plan Commission regarding the general development plan application to create the planned unit development?
I'll make a motion that we approve the general development plan application to create a planned unit development to facilitate a proposed expansion and renovation project at the Onalaska Middle School with the additional site improvements and requested deviation from the Unified Development Code to allow another principal use for the property that is not allowed within the public and semi-public P1 district, a club, lodge, or meeting place, or a non-commercial nature or recreational facility for the operations of a Boys and Girl Club located at 711 Quincy Street, Onalaska, Wisconsin, 54650, tax parcel 18-681-1, is the applicant from the Onalaska School District,
9 conditions.
with the 9 conditions attached.
I'll second that motion.
Thank you. We have a motion on the floor by Tom Smith. It's been seconded by Jared Holter to approve this request with 9 conditions. Is there any discussion?
This whole thing is just a great idea.
Yeah, Ms. Burr.
Yeah, I would just say, as a former school board member, and I think it's I wish that they had that when my kids went to middle school, but that's a great idea. So I'm really think it'll be a great addition to the school and to the community. So great.
Very good. Okay, so the motion on the floor is to approve with 9 conditions. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed say no. Motion passes with 5 votes in favor and 1 abstention. Item 6 is a public hearing for the Unified Development Code text amendment to Section 13.03.41.e related to reducing the right-of-way setback regulation for fences. The applicant is the City of Onalaska. Anyone wishing to speak in favor of this UDC text amendment, now is the time to do so. Would anyone like to speak in favor of the text amendment? second call for anyone wishing to speak in favor. Third and final call for anyone wishing to speak in favor of the text amendment. Okay, that portion is now closed, and I'll entertain anyone who would like to speak against this text amendment to the Unified Development Code. Welcome.
Thank you. So once again, to be clear, I am not opposing the setback of the code, which may be against how this whole thing works, but again, I don't know how it works, so I apologize. I am speaking against the language of the Unified Development Code as it is written in relation to where fences can be placed and how height the regulation is. As I mentioned before, I submit to you empirical evidence, countless conversations, advice and information from neighbors, strangers, you name it, all regarding this. All of them have come back to me asking the same questions of why. Why is it written this way? It doesn't justify how it's written, and so I come to you asking these same questions. And if the evidence that hopefully comes submitted supports it, I can live with that. But not having any answers and being told to do something simply because it's written that way, I can't accept. I'm also told, after meetings with Katie, that while my fence has to be put down, I could put 10-foot hedges there, and that's fine. So I ask you, where's the logic behind that? Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Would anyone else like to speak against this text amendment related to fencing? Third and final call for anyone wishing to speak against the UDC text amendment for fencing. Okay, the public hearing is now closed, and I'll ask our planning manager, Katie Aspenson, to introduce this item to our Plan Commission this evening.
Thank you, Mayor. Section 13.03.41.E of the UDC requires specific setbacks for fences in all districts adjacent to rights-of-way. Based on the survey completed, city staff are recommending that the 3-foot setback from a right-of-way be reduced to 2 feet to be consistent with the original zoning ordinance of Onalaska, as when it was modified to 3 feet, nonconformities were created. City staff do not have any additional recommended changes to the fence language as of today. Included in your packet is both the existing language and the proposed language showing the modification from 3 to 2 foot of the setback. We ask before you this evening for consideration of the proposed text amendment.
Thank you for that. With that, I will ask the Plan Commission what is their desire.
I'll make a motion to approve the text amendment to the UDC relating the right-of-way setback regulation for fences, adjusting it from 3 feet to 2 feet in accordance with what Katie briefed.
I'll second that motion.
Okay, we have a motion on the floor by Eric Archer. It's been seconded by Jared Holter to approve the text amendment. Is there discussion? Tom Smith?
I have a question for the, not from the gentleman, but really probably for Katie. In this situation now that if we go back to this, which is fine, I can support that. But in this situation, does he have to take down his fence, or can it just be moved? Or what's the alternatives for him? I mean, the investment he's put into this prior to us making the changes, it does seem like it's something we just kind of did. And I know we did the survey, and I was all part of that, being on the council and the planning. But what is the alternatives for him that is? I'm just curious to see from a citizen perspective.
Of course. So the fence began to be installed before we had proposed any changes to the fence.
That I knew, yeah.
They were notified that the fence was being constructed incorrectly, and at that point, they continued to move forward with the full construction of the fence.
Okay.
So we, after that, looked into doing the residential survey of corners to determine compliance and to see if staff felt there was a need to change how we regulated heights and locations of fences.
Okay.
Based off our last discussion, due to the high amount of compliance that the city had, it was determined that we should not have to change our fence
Okay.
ordinance that we had in place. So as that is not changed and hadn't changed, the options that the Mr. Van Auken noted is that they could either reduce the portions of the fence that are 6 foot high to 4 foot high, or they could remove the fence to keep it all 6 foot high. They would have to push it back to the back corner of the property instead of fencing in essentially their street yard, side yard area. So those are the two options that they have. His other option, I should say, is a variance. He does have the ability to apply if he does so choose.
Okay, thank you.
I have a further question. So this particular homeowner, their fence would not have been compliant even before the change?
Correct.
Okay. Eric Archer?
And just so I understand as well, so the line of demarcation for us is if it's already been done, the property owner's grandfathered in because it's already been done? No.
The property owner is not grandfathered in because city staff notified them that their fence was in violation before it was completed.
No, I'm sorry, Katie. I mean, outside of this instance, if a fence were already to have been completed, when you looked at it, at that point, it's grandfathered. And this is different because we were able to notice in construction, and we made that comment, at which point we would expect it to be changed.
Correct.
Okay,
And this is standard city practice. As city staff become aware of fences, we have historically been in this situation before with other public members, and we have stopped fences in construction and had them modify it accordingly.
Thank you.
Okay. Jan Brock?
Just a question. You know, is he responsible for changing the fence or doing the variance, or does the company that installed the fence have some responsibility there?
I cannot offer legal advice, but ultimately the property owner is responsible for everything on their own property.
Okay, is there any other discussion? Go ahead, Eric Archer?
I was just going to say, I appreciate the comment about the variance application. So there is absolutely a way for this still to be resolved going forward. Go ahead, Katie, I'm sorry.
Okay, we'll let Katie respond to that.
It is. Staff are concerned, though, however, based on the cases of this, that they might not be successful with that variance. But it is ultimately up to them, and it's up to the Board of Zoning Appeals to consider the application if one chooses to come forward.
Okay, and I just, for clarity, in this case with the homeowner that spoke, it's just coincidental that we're adjusting this when he is having the fence.
The fence survey came about because of this discussion and what was going on back when we started this, I believe in October, November of 2023. It was at that point where I had presented to the Plan Commission a myriad of fence ordinances from across the state, noting ones that were more restrictive than the city, where they were less restrictive than the city, and where we had very similar fence ordinances. When in determining whether or not we should keep our fence or ordinance or change it, that was where the proposal from staff to do the fence survey came about. It was to determine how compliant are we with the rules that we have today, and let that speak to whether or not there was a need to continue to modify the ordinance or not.
Thank you for that. Okay, any other questions or comments from the committee? Okay, the motion on the floor is to approve the text amendment. All those in favor, please.
Yes. Oh, yeah, yeah.
Well, it's at our discretion, though. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed say no. Motion passes unanimously. Thank you. Thank you, sir, for your input. Item 7, let's see, make sure. Item 7, vacation and discontinuance request for a portion of Overhill Drive located between 123 Mason Street and 351 Mason Street. The applicant is Bethany Lutheran Homes Incorporated. Katie, can you introduce this item?
Thank you, Mayor. On April 18th, the Common Council approved preliminary resolution 22-2023 to begin the process of vacating and discontinuing a portion of Overhill Drive. A public hearing has been scheduled and will occur on June 13th at 7 p.m. during the Common Council meeting. The purpose of this request is to allow the property owner to construct an addition to the Eagle Crest facility in 2023-2024. Also, as stated by the applicant, this is a requirement by La Crosse County to facilitate the CSM that you have previously seen at a prior meeting. Included in your packet is the exhibit showing the area to be vacated as well as the legal description. City staff have put together 6 conditions of approval for this development.
Thank you. With that, I'll turn it over to the commission.
I'll make a motion to vacate and discontinue the portion of Overhill Drive located between 123 Mason Street and 351 Mason Street with the 6 conditions in our packet tonight.
I'll second.
Thank you. We have a motion on the floor by Jared Holter. It's been seconded by Eric Archer to approve this request with the 6 conditions. Is there any discussion? Okay, not seeing any. The motion on the floor is to approve with 6 conditions. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed say no. This passes unanimously. Item 8 is the final implementation plan application to create a planned unit development, PUD, to facilitate the proposed expansion and renovation project at the Onalaska Middle School with the additional site improvements, and request a deviation from the Unified Development Code to allow another principal use for the property that is not allowed within the public and semi-public P1 district, a club, lodge, or meeting place of non-commercial nature and recreational facility for the operation of the Boys and Girls Club located at 711 Quincy Street. This is tax parcel ID number 18-681-1, and the applicant is the School District of Onalaska. Katie?
Thank you, Mayor. Not to reiterate the entire staff report again, to note there is a single request related to the principal use for the structure. City staff are in support of said request, and we have put together 8 conditions of approval for this development.
Thank you for that. Okay, so this is the final implementation plan to create the planned unit development. What is the desire of the commission? Oh, Stacy? Okay.
Excuse me, I'll make a motion that we approve the final implementation plan to create the Onalaska Middle School planned unit development with the 8 conditions noted. Sorry.
I'll second that motion.
Thank you. We have a motion on the floor by Tom Smith. It's been seconded by Jan Brock to approve this planned unit development with 8 conditions. Is there any discussion? Was Stacy? Is there someone online?
Thank you, Mayor. Yes, we do have someone online. He's unable to talk and he can't hear from the audio. So he's asked some questions. I don't know if you want to have Katie contact him, but I'll just read the questions. What is the intent of the letter that was sent to them? Is the Onalaska Middle School proposing an expansion? If so, the homes highlighted in blue, will they be affected and in what way? And then he also would like me to state for the record, hold on, gotta find it. That he would like for no decision to be made by the board this evening due to the fact that the letters that were sent out to the owners with the highlighted blue areas and the method of connectivity is not operational. It is no fault of the ones online listening, which appears to only be he and his wife. They are unable to make an informed decision or participate per the YouTube.
Thank you. Thank you for that. We'll ask Amanda for input.
I mean, he was able to convey his concerns via Stacy, and so I don't think that it was really the Plan Commission's decision if they want to take action tonight. They do not we have met our obligations.
Thank you for that. Katie, are you able to simply answer some of the questions?
The first one was, what was the intent of the letter?
I believe that means what is the intent of the letter that was sent to the neighboring property owners. Every time we have a public hearing, city staff generate a list of every property within 250 feet. We send them a map showing that they fall within 250 feet. That buffer is just essentially that 250-foot buffer is highlighting which properties fall within that distance. They're the most likely properties to be impacted by a development. Also included in the letter that we sent was a statement describing the request that the Onalaska Middle School wanted to do a project, and they also wanted to house the Boys and Girls Club. I should note that within that notice was my phone number and email address, so if there were any questions, they do have the ability to contact staff, and they can continue to do so through the next 2 weeks prior to the Common Council meeting, or attend the Common Council meeting if there are additional comments to be made.
Is the Onalaska Middle School proposing an expansion?
Yes, they are proposing an expansion and an addition. If Jerry would like to come up, he can give greater detail on the overall square footage of the proposed addition, so that can make it into the record.
Yes, the existing building is about 120,000 square feet, and we're expanding at about 65,000. And the bulk of the expansion is a gymnasium on the north side with a large commons. And then also on the south side, we're putting a 2-story addition next to Quincy Street with 4 classroom pods in it. So that's the major part, is on the south side. Site-wise, we're not taking up a lot of the space. Basically, we're reusing areas on the south side, and there's a small area on the north side that's increased. But
Mr. Schomburg, will you just restate your name and
Jerry
company?
Schomburg with Vantage Architects.
Just for the record, thank you.
Last question was, will the homes that are in blue, will they be affected, and in what way?
The purpose of the homes that were shown in blue, again, are those located within 250 feet. The intent is that this is a courtesy that the city the city mail out these requirements. I cannot say that there will be an exact impact to them. It's just that they are close enough to the school district property that we encourage their feedback and we value what they have to say.
Okay, thank you, and thank you all for accommodating that. I think we do, we have a lot of people here tonight, and we do really appreciate it when people show up to our meetings and they speak and they take an interest in our community, because, sometimes the more input we can have, the better decisions that we can make as we guide the community forward. But if anyone else has further concerns or comments, I encourage you to reach out to staff or reach out to your electeds. And we will be having this on our agenda for the Common Council meeting in 2 weeks as well. These things that pass go on to the Common Council. So is there any other discussion on item number 8 regarding the planned unit development? Okay, the motion on the floor is to approve this with 8 conditions. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, say no. Okay, the motion passes 5-0 with 1 abstention. Item 9 is a special exception application to deviate from section 7.07.13.B2 of the Code of Ordinances to allow a mural on the primary facade of the structure located at 310 Main Street. This is tax parcel ID number 18-148-0. The applicants are the Onalaska Art Keepers and Tippett's Rental LLC. Katie, can you introduce this item to the commission, please?
Thank you, Mayor. The applicant is requesting to install a mural on the primary front facade of the building at 310 Main Street. According to section 7.07.13.B.2, murals are not permitted on the primary facade of a building. The primary facade is defined for the purposes of this chapter as the building elevation which directly faces an adjacent street right-of-way and is the primary customer entrance. However, our ordinance allows the use of a special exception, which is before you this evening, to provide for deviations on a case-by-case basis. For this particular structure, the rear and the side of the structure do not provide opportunities to truly view this mural due to the building's existing setback as compared to other structures along Main Street. The applicant has made significant effort to tie the mural content to the use of the building, which is a Head Start facility, as well as incorporating the existing facade and the architecture of the door canopy into the overall design of the mural. The city's mural review committee has approved this mural permit as it met all of the design standards of the mural ordinance. We have included in the packet the permit application as well as the special exception application for this project. Based upon the information provided and circumstances of this property, meeting all of the review and design standards that are included in your packet, city staff support the special exemption request and are recommending approval to the Plan Commission. To note, the Plan Commission will have final authority over this item, so if it is approved tonight, this project will be able to continue to commence. Thank you.
Thank you. With that being said, I will turn this item over to the Plan Commission.
I would like to make a motion to approve the special exception application to deviate from section 7.07.13.B.2 of the Code of Ordinances to allow a mural in the primary facade of the building, of the structure located at 310 Main Street, tax parcel 18-148-0.
Thank you. Is there a second?
I'll second.
We have a motion on the floor by Leanne Stokes. It's been seconded by Eric Archer to approve the special exception for the mural. Is there discussion? Jan Brock?
I have a question. I think this is a great idea. Public art is kind of super, but I actually have two questions. One concerns long-term maintenance of the mural, and the other one is, this depiction is obviously painted by this lady, Lori Elke. But so the mural will actually, some of the children will be painting that, right? I mean, I think that's great involvement, but how will you know what it, will it look like this? Question.
Name?
Yes, may I address the
If you may,
commission?
if you start by stating your name.
Hello, my name is Dan Stevens, Second District Alder and also President of the Onalaska Art Keepers. The mural artist, her name is Lori Elke, who's she's an Oak member and she is also a local art educator. So she teaches children and I believe adults as well. The mural that you see presented there is that wasn't the kind of the knock-up. It will be entitled "Children Playing in All Seasons." So it will be very close to what you have there. The final portion will include children from Head Start. They'll be ages 3 and 4. Actually, tomorrow morning they will be painting, you know, kind of handprints and stamps and painting some flowers on the mural. It won't be erected until after this hopefully gets approved. So that should take place, I would expect, in early June if everything goes to plan. And then was there another question? I'm sorry?
Maintenance.
Long-term maintenance.
So maintenance, ultimately, the owner of the property is Ben Tippett, and once the mural is up, he will own the property, but Oak will, if it's like touch-up painting and things like that, then our organization will kind of keep it to code. It will be lacquered several times to protect it from the elements. We have some experience where we do the pop-up on Alaska, and we just have little canvases, and they've been able to maintain through the wind and rain all summer long, and we're just going to do that and more of it, and it will be a more firm material with the baseboards as opposed to a canvas. In the event that it gets to the point where it is not maintainable, at that point, then the owner of the property could decide to take it down.
Thank you, sir. Are there any other questions or comments from the commission? Okay, the motion on the floor is to approve this special exception. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed say no. Motion carries unanimously. Thank you for coming in, Mr. Stevens.
Thank you, Commission.
Item 10 is a certified survey map application to subdivide 2 parcels into a total of 4 parcels located at 4091, 4093 Brook Elizabeth Drive, and 4101 and 4103 Brook Elizabeth Drive. These are tax parcel ID numbers 18-66190 and 18-6620-0. The applicant is EMAC Properties LLC. That said, I'll turn this matter over to the Plan Commission.
I'll make a motion to approve the subdivision of tax parcel 18-6619-0 and 18-6620-0 in a total of 4 parcels located at 4091 through 4093 Brook Elizabeth Drive and 4101 through 4103 Brook Elizabeth Drive, with the 9 conditions as outlined in the document.
I'll second.
Okay, we have a motion on the floor by Eric Archer. It's been approved by Tom Smith to approve this application with 9 conditions. Is there any discussion? You want to add anything, Katie?
Just to note that all of the proposed parcels, lots 1 through 4, meet dimensional requirements of those in the R2 zoning district.
Thank you. Any other discussion or questions? Okay, the motion on the floor is to approve the certified survey map with 9 conditions. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed say no. Motion carries unanimously. Thank you. Number 11 is a certified survey map application to subdivide 1 parcel into a total of 3 parcels and dedicate a new public right-of-way located at 2614 Midwest Drive. This is tax parcel ID number 18-4769-1. The applicants are River Hotel Company and Codwell Banker Real Estate LLC. Katie, did you want to introduce the item?
Thank you, Mayor. The property owner intends to subdivide a single commercial property into 3 commercial properties to allow for new developments. Additionally, the CSM includes a dedication to the public for a new city street. The proposed parcels, lots 103, 104, and 105, meet all the dimensional requirements of the parcel in the B3 district. City staff have put 14 conditions tied to this development.
Thank you. What is the desire of the Plan Commission?
I'll make a motion to approve the certified survey map for 2614 Midwest Drive, tax parcel 18-4769-1 with the 14 attached conditions.
I'll second.
Okay, we have a motion on the floor by Jared Holter. It's been seconded by Eric Archer to approve the certified survey map with the 14 conditions. Is there any discussion? Jan Brock.
Is there anything actually proposed for these, other than that pile of dirt that sits on 103? No?
Not at this time.
Okay, I have a question probably for Jared. So this is creating a cul-de-sac?
Correct. When we reviewed this, this was part of the original plan for this parcel. When the hotel first came in, their plan was to split off the 2 front lots. And when this was designed, it was designed for a public land dedication. It will be one more cul-de-sac that we do have to maintain, but I think it offers the best access to lots 103 and 105 off of a public street, which is the best scenario for this situation. We did include a condition that before signing of the CSM, they have to give provide a letter of credit to the city for necessary improvements, because we'll want curb and gutter and get the street brought up to city standards.
Thank you. Any other questions or comments by the commissioners? Okay, the motion on the floor is to approve with 14 conditions. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed say no. Motion carries unanimously. Thank you. Number 12 is a certified survey map application to subdivide 1 parcel into a total of 2 parcels. This is located at 2700 Midwest Drive. It's tax parcel ID number 18-4768-0. The applicants are Midwest Investments LLC and Coldwell Banker Real Estate LLC. Katie?
Just to note that with the division of the one property into two, both of the proposed parcels, lots 101 and lot 02, meet all the dimensional requirements for those in the B3 zoning district. City staff have put 11 conditions of approval together for this development.
Thank you for that. With that being said, what is the desire of the Plan Commission?
I'll make a motion that we approve the certified survey map application to subdivide one parcel into a total of two parcels located at 2700 Miss West Drive, tax parcel 18-4768-0, with the 11 conditions.
I second.
We have a motion on the floor by Tom Smith. It's been seconded by Leanne Stokes to approve the certified survey map with 11 conditions. Is there any discussion? Not seeing or hearing any. All those in favor of approving this with 11 conditions, please say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed say no. Motion carries unanimously. That brings us to item 13, adjournment.
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
Jared Holter, second by
I'll second.
Eric Archer to adjourn. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Anybody opposed? We are adjourned. Did you record?
Recording stopped.
8 o'clock.